If you're in car sales and you're trying to move the ball forward with your clients without sounding pushy, this video is for you. Hi, my name is Jason Vines. I've been in the automotive industry for over a decade. I've ran a bunch of stores, opened open points, trained tens of sales teams on how to use these skills that I'm going to teach you today so that you can sell more cars and make more money and have a lot more fun at work. When I started in the automotive industry, the old adage was 45 yeses in 45 minutes was the sale. But consumers have caught on to this. They've got wise to it, and they're a lot more willing to give you a no than they are a yes. So that's what this training's about. Now, I didn't come up with any of these things myself. I took them directly from Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. He was an ex-FBI hostage negotiator, and he learned that using these tactics will actually help de-escalate a stressful situation. And selling a car, although it's not like being in a hostage negotiation, can be an extremely stressful process. One of the things Chris Voss talks about in his book is how even as children, we're wired to say no to a salesperson. So let's say you're 8 years old, somebody knocks on the door, or if you're my age, calls the landline, and you can hear them going into the pitch. Well, even as an 8-year-old kid, you've heard your parents pick up that phone, say no if they're polite. If they're not polite, they just hang up. But you've heard this countless times. So we're wired as children to say no to salespeople. And then we carry this into adulthood. Due to so many people being hesitant to say yes, it allows us to manipulate the conversation. Manipulate sounds bad, but it's the truth. Manipulate the conversation in such a way that a no actually means a yes. Now, the first one, to get a no to mean a yes, is would you be opposed to? So instead of being on the phone with your client, trying to book an appointment and asking them, would you like to come in for an appointment? You could ask the question, would you be opposed to coming in for an appointment? You can even hear it in my tonality. Would you like to come in for an appointment? Would you be opposed to coming in for an appointment? One of them sounds like the customer's doing you a favor. Would you please come in for an appointment? And the other one is nonchalant. It's very simple. It's very laid back. And that's the type of approach that you want to take with these clients, because that's how consumers buy nowadays. You can't pressure somebody into anything. They will make an educated decision. Just like the cars on the lot, they probably know more about the cars than you do. So this interaction needs to be casual. So would you be opposed to coming in for an appointment? And what are they going to say? They're going to tell you, well, no, I'm not opposed to coming in for an appointment. I do have a couple other things lined up that day that I'm going to have to adjust my schedule, but I'm not opposed to it. Well, what we've done is we've taken that no, and it literally means yes. No, I'm not opposed to it. AKA, yes, I will come in for the appointment. Or perhaps they do have a slight objection, saying, well, would you be opposed to coming in? I'm not opposed to it, but I'm going to have to adjust my schedule. I need to talk to my wife. Well, what do you do then? Okay, perfect. Well, do you want to set something up tentatively for now? And then you can talk to your wife and see if that works for her. Or, and again, use the no-based question a second time. Oh, would you be opposed to just booking the appointment right now? And then if she needs to adjust, we can. Their objection could be something simple, like perhaps you have to drive the car to their house, or maybe even Uber them in. Well, it's still a worthy investment to pay to bring somebody into the dealership. Again, they're not opposed to coming in. There's just a reason as to why they can't. I do have another video that's explicitly about objection handling, and if you'd like to watch it, you can watch it here. Remember, when you're asking if they're opposed to coming in, you're no longer asking for a favor. You're not being needy. You're laid back, you're casual, you're saying, hey man, you can come in, you can not come in, it's fine. And people really do gravitate towards that. If you want to use this in your personal life, let's say, for example, you want to take your significant other out for a nice dinner, and you kind of want to go for Italian food. Well, you could simply suggest, hey, would you be opposed to going for Italian tonight? And they're either going to say, no, I'm not opposed to that at all. I'd love to go. Let me get ready. Or they will tell you, well, we had Italian last week. Can we go here instead? Perfect. There's nothing worse than fighting or having a 15-minute conversation about what you're going to have for dinner. So just ask, would you be opposed to going to the place you actually want to go? Now, there is another kind of tricky way of doing this, and I'll digress a little bit because I find it amusing. But if you ever really want to get your significant other to tell you exactly where they want to go for dinner, just tell them to guess where you're going to take them. Like, oh, you won't believe, you're never going to guess where I'm going to take you tonight. 9 times out of 10, they're probably going to guess the place they actually want to go for dinner, and it saves you a world of hurt. But I digress. So the next one is, did I catch you at a bad time? In this case, you're using it for when you're calling a client and they're not expecting a call. It's a really good way to de-escalate the stress of getting a call from somebody you're not expecting. Again, Chris Voss, hostage negotiator for the FBI, probably had to make a few stressful calls. So he literally took this information from getting people with hostages to answer the phone and actually connect on the call by de-escalating in the beginning. If you ask somebody, hey, do you have time to chat? There's too many options. Most of the time, they're not going to say yes, but there's too many subconscious questions that they're asking themselves. Well, could you just send this over text? Could you send me an email? How long is this call going to be? All of those thoughts may go through their head subconsciously. And then, of course, again, they're more willing to give up that no. They say, no, I'm busy right now. So what you want to do instead is ask them, did I catch you at a bad time? Because what are they going to say? Well, no, it's not a bad time. What's up? And they're giving you permission, again, taking a no and turning it into a yes, they're giving you permission to keep that conversation going. If you go directly into your sales call and you don't ask if they have time at all, it's very likely that somebody's going to hang up at some point before you're finished your actual, pitch. The funny part about this one is I started using it immediately after reading the book. And I would actually contact some people, introduce myself, and ask them, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? And people would actually say, no, what? Wait, yes, it's a bad time. And it was shocking to me how people are so wired to say no that they literally say no because they mean no, but they have to change what they're saying to be yes, which in this case means no. But again, the line is so smooth. Did I catch you at a bad time? No, it's not a bad time. Did I catch you at a bad time? No. Yeah, it is a bad time. They're wired to say it. And it was genuinely shocking to me how well this worked. Now, I have a whole video about how to make phone calls and book more appointments you can watch here. But when you're starting the call, you simply say their name. Hey, Bob, how you doing? They say, I'm good, thanks. Who's this? Hey, it's Jason at blank. Did I catch you at a bad time? It's friendly, it's light, it's jovial. And then they give you permission to keep the conversation going, oddly enough, by, again, saying no. Now, some people may actually say, well, yeah, it is a bad time. In which case, you need to, before they hang up the phone, because that is exactly what they're trying to do, get as much information out of them as you can in the next 10 words. For example, if somebody says, well, yeah, it is actually a bad time, you can just quickly ask them, hey, okay, before I let you go, are you still interested in the car? And then a lot of the time, and you'd be surprised by this, especially those of you who are calling customers and they're just not answering the phone, those people will tell you, no, I'm not actually interested in the car. And it's really like frustrating because you're talking to these people on the phone. They know why you're calling. And instead of just saying, hey, I'm no longer interested in the car, they'll tell you it's a bad time, but they won't tell you they're not interested in the car. So it's really important that when somebody says, yes, you have actually caught me at a bad time, you take that extra 10 seconds to just go, wait, before you hang up, should I keep calling? Are you interested? Should I just delete you out of my CRM? Take that time. It's super valuable. And if somebody says, yes, I am actually still interested in the car, you can simply go, okay, when's a good time for me to call you back? And then they will give you the actual time and permission to call them back. Now, the third and final no-oriented question is, have you given up on blank? This is something that you're going to use if a client's not answering your calls. You've sent them, a paragraph or two in the past. You've followed up with them over email. You've done, 3 or 4 touches on this client, and they're just not getting back to you. You will send them a text or email that is one line. Have you given up on blank? Do not sugarcoat it. Do not ask them 15 other questions. Don't do this if they are currently responding. You only do it if the client has ghosted you. The reason that we ask this when they've ghosted you is because it hones in on people's desire to not feel like they've given up. No one wants to be a quitter. So therefore, by asking this person, hey, in between the lines, you're kind of saying, are you a quitter? Don't worry. No one has ever given me negative kickback on this because it's between the lines you're asking if they're a quitter. You're not being direct about it. You're saying, hey, have you given up? Just, You don't have to say, please call me back. It's such and such from this dealership. Just, have you given up? What will happen is your response will negatively affect their ego. Their ego of saying, well, I don't want to be a quitter. I don't want to be known as a quitter. And they will respond. Now, there is a catch to this, a caveat. It happens extremely quickly. When you send this message, you cannot walk away from your computer or your phone. This is a last ditch, Hail Mary, I need this guy to answer. And because you're hanging their emotion of, their bruised ego, no, I'm not a quitter. What you will see is responses like what's on the screen here. No, I haven't given up. I'm just busy. No, I'm just, I've been in a different part of town. No, I haven't given up, but I'll come in today. If you aren't available on your phone between the time where they have this negative emotion where they go, oh, my ego, I haven't given up, screw you, man. And they respond saying, no, I just need to do blank. You need to be available and respond to that text as quickly as humanly possible. Because this feeling, this ego hit that you're giving them only lasts for less than 5 minutes. So you need to be aware that as soon as you send this message and they respond, now, I will say they might not see the message immediately, but what I'm saying is you need to be ready when that message comes in to understand if they say, no, I'm not blank, up, you need to respond again to them as quickly as possible because now they're on their phone. You're only going to get that temporary ego hit for, again, a very short window of time. So it's extremely time sensitive. Now, there's a couple ways you can ask this. I simply just write, have you given up on this? You could say, have you given up on the car hunt? Have you given up on looking for a truck? Have you given up on coming in for an appointment? It can be lots of different ways. What I highly recommend is everybody kind of has their own style, their own accent. Find yours and use it that way. But again, do not send a large paragraph and then ask them if they've given up. It needs to only be this. It may seem silly over an email. Don't say, hey, Bob, comma, the body, yours truly, whatever, and your phone number. You literally just send the email. You can even delete all of your signature. Just say, have you given up on this? It makes sure that you know that they're not reading anything else, just that line, so that you can really hit them where it hurts in their ego. Now they realize their ego hurts and they realize, oh, geez, this guy's just doing his job. No, I haven't given up on it. I've just been busy. And they say, I've just been busy. So then you want to figure out what next steps look like for them. Once they respond saying, no, I am still interested, you want to follow up with another no-oriented question. Would you be opposed to me following up with you again, Mr. Client? And what are they going to say? Again, they're easily handing out no's here. No, I'm not opposed to that. Then you can switch back into your regular mode. Normally what I do is I'd hit them with an either or question. Well, Mr. Customer, what do next steps look like for you? Do you want to connect on a call to go over more information? Or should we just set up a time for you to come in? By using these 3 questions, would you be opposed to? Did I catch you at a bad time? And have you given up on? You'll notice that people are going to be more receptive to having the ball move forward because it doesn't feel salesy. It doesn't feel stressful. Again, you're laid back. It's casual. I don't need the sale. Have you given up on this? Would you be opposed to coming in for an appointment? Did I catch you at a bad time? These are all very low confrontation questions. You're not being confrontational. You're not being a salesperson. You're making it easy for them to say yes by having them actually say no. Thank you. And if you have any other questions or training that you'd like to have, please throw something in the comment. Like and subscribe the video. Feels weird to say. Enjoy.